Namaste everyone. Welcome you all to session 20 of Samskrita Shri Pathamala 1. Today we'll be seeing word analysis, that is the analysis of the Samskrita padas. This is as an introduction to Vibhaktis. So let us begin with the Mangala Shlokaha as usual. शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। सरस्वती नमस्तेस्तु वीणा पुस्तकधारिणी हंसवाहनमारूढे विद्यादानं कुरुष्व मे। Today we will be seeing a subhashitam. A subhashitam is a good saying or a proverb, just like the sukti that we used to see, just that it has two lines and sometimes it has four padas. So today's subhashitam is udyamena eva siddhyanti karyani na manorathaihi na hi suptasya sinhasya pravishanti mukhe mrigaha. So I think we already saw the first line as a sukti before. Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathaihi. It means things are achieved. Anything can be achieved only by hard work and not merely wishing for it. The example that they give is animals or the animals which form the prey of a lion do not enter the mouth of a sleeping lion. So if a lion has to feed itself, it has to go and hunt. It has to work for it, and only then can it relieve itself of its hunger. Similarly, whatever we want to achieve, we have to put in the necessary hard work. So animals do not by themselves enter the mouth of a sleeping lion. That was the subhashitam for today. We will begin by first discussing the questions of the test. Can you see the screen? Is the audio okay? Are you able to hear? Okay. I think Sharada Sundar Raman, you're not getting the audio. You can just check your audio settings, or you can exit the webinar once and try logging back in. Okay. Now, regarding the questions of the test, I think many of you have done quite well. The average has been 21.73 out of 30, and more than 1/3 of those who attended the test have gotten above 25 marks, which is very nice, which is very good. Here and there, some silly mistakes you would have made, because of which you could have lost marks. The one question that many of you got wrong was this meaning of Nagaha. Nagaha, I mentioned in class, means both a snake and an elephant. So that is one thing I think you might have missed. It was mentioned in a couple of classes, if I remember right. So even though you read the textbook, it is better to also go through the slides, because some things which are not given in the textbook may be available in the slides, and some things may be given a little differently also, like the vowels, for example. So the first thing is the vowels. Vowels, one page gives the number of vowels as 16, and it includes the Anuswara and Visarga in the textbook. Another page gives it as 15 and includes Anuswara and Visarga again. Anuswara and Visarga are not vowels. There are 4 Ayogavahas, out of which Anuswara and Visarga are 2. The other 2 are Jihvamuliyaha and Upadmaniyaha. We have seen this many times in the beginning. So there are only 13 vowels. This is according to Paninian grammar. There are only 13 vowels. The Dirgha Lakara is not there. It is not a vowel. That is one question. Second is Nagaha. It means elephant. And the third issue was that in choose all the correct answers, the marks awarded was 2, but even if you had not selected one correct answer, that is, if you had if there were 3 correct answers and if you had selected only 2, you did not get any marks. I don't know why this is becoming such a big issue, because even in the last test, the mark awarded was 1 and you had to choose all the correct answers. And even if one was missed, the entire question was marked wrong, because in multiple choice questions, the completeness of the answer is very important. So it doesn't matter if you have not scored marks because of that this time. Please be careful and select all the correct answers in the next test, and also be careful to be very precise in your knowledge. So you should not miss anything out, and not even while attempting the questions or while learning. In both the stages, you should be very thorough and complete. That is the idea of giving such multiple choice questions. So let us go into the questions per se. The first one is, what are which varga is called the labials? The Oshtya Varnaha, which is the Pa varga. Labials means Oshtya. Oshtho means lips, and labials is those which are those varnas which are pronounced with the help of the lips. So Pa, Ha, Ba, Bha, Ma. For all these things, the lips come into contact with each other. That is the correct answer. 90% of you have got that right. That's not a problem. Second is the meaning of mendicant. I think some of you did not understand the word mendicant, but we learned this. It was a word in the textbook. It is also given in our slide. So if you had read the slides and the textbook properly, you would know this. It is Yachakaha. Kakaha is crow. Dhanikaha is a rich man. Yachakaha is a mendicant. And Bhupalaha is a king. So Yachakaha is the correct answer. The next one is the name of a sentiment. This is Kutuhalam. Kutuhalam means rejoicing. So being happy is Kutuhalam, being excessively happy. Upayaha is means or the way of doing something. Vayuhu is air, and Kalahaha is commotion. So the correct answer is Kutuhalam. 75, more than 75% have gotten this right. Next is, this is not a consonant. What are the letters given? Nya, which is a combination of ja and nya. That is a conjunct consonant. Cha is a consonant. It comes in the cha varga. Ha is the second letter of the pa varga, and dha is the fourth letter of the ta varga. So the correct answer is nya, which is combination of cha and nya. Next is this in neuter gender. So this is something which is close by, and that which is something that is far away. So in neuter gender, you refer to something that is close by with either idam or edat. Next is answer if it is true or false. Anuswara and visarga are vowels. No, they are not. We have seen this several times in the beginning classes that Anuswara and visarga form part of the Ayoga Bhahas. They are not vowels. Next is kra is a conjunct consonant, and that is true. The kakara and shakara together, they are both consonants. Conjunct consonant means something, the combination of two consonants without intervening vowels. So this satisfies that condition. So kakara and shakara together gives kra. Next is yushmat shabdah is madhyama purusha sarvanama shabdah, which is also true. The only madhyama purusha shabdah that we will ever come across in any sentence in Sanskritam is yushmat shabdah. There cannot be any other noun or pronoun. Yushmat shabdah is the only madhyama purusha shabdah, and it happens to be a pronoun, a sarvanama shabdah. And it is common for all the three genders, Pullinga, Strilinga and Napumsaka Linga. There are no gender variations. Yushmat is Madhyama Purusha, Asmad is Uttama Purusha. So this is the one that many got wrong. Nagaha does not mean elephant is what you have chosen, but that's the wrong answer. It is true that Nagaha means elephant. It also has the meaning elephant. Next, Kriya Padam has three genders. Now, what is a Kriya Padam? A Kriya Padam is an action word. What is an example of a Kriya Padam? Padhati. Does Padhati have forms in the three genders? Does it vary with gender? No, it has only one form. So, Kriya Padam does not change with gender. It only changes with Purusha and Vachana. So, Madhyama Purusha, Uttama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha and Prathama Purusha are the three Purushas, and Ekavachanam, Dvivachanam and Bahuvachanam are the three Vachanas. Only those cause a variation in the form of the Kriya Padam that is used, nothing else. Genders do not influence the Kriya Padam at all. Then choose all the correct answers. Okay, so in this, Manihi is a Pullinga Shabda. Bhumihi, even though it has a Visarga at the end, actually there is no rule that a Visarga ending indicates that it is Pullinga. In Akara ending words, many times we see that an Akara followed by Visarga happens to be a Pullinga Shabda. That is a clue for us, but you cannot take it as a hard and fast rule. So Bhumihi is an Ikaranta Strilinga Shabda, Dhenuhu is a Ukaranta, Bhumi you should say, because Bhumihi is the Ekavachana form. Bhumi is an Ikaranta Strilinga Shabda, Dhenu is a Ukaranta Strilinga Shabda. So the only Pullinga Shabdas are Manihi and Gajaha. Manihi means a gem or a precious stone, and Gajaha is an elephant again. What are the Strilinga Shabdas? Nayanam is Napumsakalingam. An ending usually indicates Napumsakalingam. Dhanam is also Napumsakalingam. It means wealth. Nayanam is eye. Dhanam is wealth. Kamala is a name, and that has an akara ending. So it is a feminine gender word. Sutta means daughter. That is also a feminine gender. Strilinga Shabda. Next, Napunsakalinga Shabda. Ganesha is Pullinga. Papam, ending again, is Napumsakalinga. Daya, akara ending, is Strilinga. Bhayam, fear, is Napumsakalinga. Ganesha is Ganesha. Papam is sin. Daya is mercy or compassion. And Bhayam is fear. Now choose all the places or sthalani. So Vanam is a forest, so it is a place. Bhavanam is a house, it is a place. Natanam means a dance or acting, so that is not a place. And Nagaram means a city, that also refers to a place. Next, first person verb form Uttama Purusha Kriya Padani. Uttama Purusha means the first person, I, we two, and we all goes with these Kriya Padas. For example, Vayam Gacchamaha, Aham Namami. So these are all Uttama Purusha Kriya Padams. So they come in the last line of the Kriya Padams. Usually the first line is the Prathama Purusha, second line is Madhyama, and third line is the Uttama Purusha. So Vasati is Prathama Purusha or Anya Purusha. He lives, he, she, or it resides somewhere, Vasati. Gachamaha, we go. Kridasi is you play. Creed means to play, so you play. Namami, I bow down or salute or I worship. Namami, I. It comes only with aham. Namami cannot come with any other noun because it is a Uttama Purusha form. It comes only with Asmat Shabda Eka Vachanam, which is aham. Then the word for always in Sanskritam. So we learned Avyaya Padani, of which Sarvada and Sada mean always. Sarvada, many of you got this right. Sarvada and Sada are correct. Chiram means for a long time, and Adhuna means now, just now. The dual number. So what are all the words which are in Dvivachanam is what we have passed here. Kakau, kakah, kakau, kakaha. A crow, 2 crows and many crows. Kakau is 2 crows. So it is Dvivachanam. Vanam, vane, vanani. Vanam is Napumsakalingam. So a forest is Vanam. So 2 forests, we call it as Vane. Bale, Bala, Bale, Balaha. Bala is a small girl and it is Strilinga. So Akara ending, Bala, Bale is 2 girls and Balaha, many girls. Malikaha is plural because it is a Strilinga Bahuvachana Shabda. It is not Dvivachana, so you should not select that. Okay. In the list given, what are the Avyaya Padas or indeclinables? Brihat, it is an adjective and it has various forms in different for different genders and different numbers as well. So linga vachana bhedaha, there are linga vachana bhedas. Then punaha is an avyayam, it means again. We've seen this several times. Punaha, punaha, and all we saw again and again. And then daya is compassion, it's an akara ending, strilinga padam. Adya is today, and that is an avyayam too. Adya comes under the indeclinable list. Next, Prashnavachaka Shabdaha or questions. Question words. Kutra is a question. It means where. Kutaha is also a question. It means why or from where. So we learned this under the question words of indeclinables. These two, Kutra and Kutaha. Kathamapi is also in the Avyaya list, but then it means somehow. Only Katham means how. Katham api means somehow. And Kau means who to. Kaha, Kau and Ke are the forms of the Kim Shabda in Pullinga, and Kau happens to be the Dvivachana form of the Pullinga Kim Shabda. Kaha, Kau, Ke. So who to, when you want to ask who to, we say Kau. Next, what are the plural forms? Pathanti. It is a plural form, isn't it? In Prathama Purusha, we have Pathati, Pathatah, Pathanti. Pathati is singular, Pathatah is dual, and Pathanti. So, Te Pathanti. Te is Tat Shabda, Pullinga, Bahuvachanam. So, when it is Bahuvachanam, we have to use a Bahuvachana verb as well. And which Purusha? All Shabdas except Asmad and Yushmad, you use only the Prathama Purusha Shabdas. Padhati, Padhataha, Padhanti. Then Charamaha is also plural, but it is Uttama Purusha plural. Vayam Charamaha. So the only noun with which Charamaha or a Maha ending verb can come is Vayam. Vayam Charamaha. We roam around. And then Vasatha. Yuyam Vasatha. You all reside. So you all reside. Atra Vasatha. You all reside here. For example, that is also a plural word. It means you all. I mean, it comes for you all, and it is a Bahuvachana Kriyapadam. What is Khadataha? Khadataha is Prathama Purusha Dvivachanam. You both, they both eat. Tau Khadataha. They both eat. So that is not a Bahuvachana Kriyapadam. We should not select that. Okay. So I think that is clear. I will just take questions for a few minutes and then proceed. We could not click on two choices. The first section you could click only on one choice, and the correct choice is idam. That is not a correct choice because it means that. The question was the word this. So for this, idam is the only correct option. You should have selected only that. What is the basis for some questions having two and some having just one? See, in correct and choose all the correct answers, you have to be sure about what are all the correct forms, and I thought you deserved more marks for that. So I, instead of giving just 1 mark and giving you more number of questions, I thought I would award 2 marks. The same pattern of questions were there in the previous test as well, but the mark that was given was 1. So if you did not choose all the correct answers, you would not get any mark for it. So it's the same logic which has been followed consistently. Isn't kalaha also a sentiment? Kalaha is commotion. So if there is commotion in any particular place, it is called kalaha. It is not a sentiment. It is not something, a feeling that one experiences. See, you should be very careful in reading the question also. So this in neuter gender was the question, not this is neuter gender. And I had given this within quotes. So it means the word this in neuter gender in Sanskritam. Balah, balau, bale is in Pullingam. Bala, bale, balaha is in Strilingam. The question paper has been uploaded on the course page after lesson 19. You may go and attempt it anytime. If you have missed writing it on Tuesday, you can definitely try taking the test one more time. Daya is not indeclinable. We saw it under Strilinga Padas. So I think if somebody hasn't got your scores after clicking on submit, you can email me and I will send you the scores by email. I'll send you all your responses, the Google form by email. Can you please explain how sentiment is kutuhalam? Kutuhalam does not mean sentiment. It is a kind of sentiment. Yes. So those were the questions. Now let's quickly revise what we have done so far before we proceed. First we saw alphabets. So we start off with alphabet, then we learned words, then sentences. In alphabets there are swaras, 13 in number. A, I, U, R, L, Hrasva swaras. A, I, U, R, A, O, I, O. These are the swaras. Vyanjanani, the ka varga, pa varga, cha varga, ta varga, and ta varga. These are the Vargiya Vyanjanas. Apart from that, we have Antasthaha, which are Yara Lava, Ushmanaha, which are Shahra Saha. Ayogavahas are Anuswara, Visarga, Jihvamuliyaha, and Upadmaniyaha. While I remember, let me just tell you, once I had mentioned that Upadmaniyaha, which is a Visarga, it is pronounced like half a Visarga before pa and ha. It has a, I told you that it has a fa kind of sound, F sound, which is wrong. I am sorry. I learned that Upadmaniyaha is not pronounced with the help of the teeth and the lips. That is the upper teeth and the lower lips not coming into contact with each other, just the two lips. For instance, Ramah pachati or pathati. Ramah pathati. Vrikshah phalati. Vrikshah phalati. So it is not F, it is only the rounding of the lips, or it is pronounced purely with the help of the lips, the Upadmaniyaha also. So those were the Ayogavahas. Gunitaksharas are combinations of swaras with consonants, because all consonants can be pronounced only with the help of swaras. Then, so you combine 33 consonants with all the 13 swaras to give rise to Gunitaksharas. Sayuktaksharas are combinations of two consonants or more without intervening vowels. That is the Devanagari script. Then we learned Akaranta Pullinga Shabdas. We learned Akaranta Napumsakalinga Shabdas as well. Like Achalaha, Utajaha, like these are all Akaranta Pullinga Shabdas. All of them we learned first in the singular form. Then we learned the dual and plural forms as well. Napumsakalinga Shabdas also we learned the Akara ending Shabdas like Griham, Bhayam, Bhavanam and so on. And then Akaranta Strilinga Shabdas like Mala, Bala, Balika, etc. So initially we learned only the singular forms, then we learned the Dvivachana and Bahuvachana also. Then we learned the Ikara and Ukara ending Pullinga Shabdas like Hari and Guru. Harihi, Hari, Harayaha in the three vachanas, Guruhu, Guru, Guravaha in Ukaranta Shabdas, Shabda for the three vachanas, Ekavachanam, Dvivachanam and Bahuvachanam. Then we learned 6 pronouns, Tad, Etad, Idam, Kim, Asmat and Yushmat. The first 4, that is Tad, Etad, Idam and Kim, are all Prathama Purusha pronouns. What does that mean? It refers to something or somebody other than the person who is speaking and the person to whom he is speaking. So Tad is that, Etad is this, Idam is also this, Kim is who or what or which. Now the Tad Shabda has forms in the 3 lingas, that is Pullinga, Strilinga, Napumsakalinga, and it has forms in the 3 vachanas as well. In each of the lingas there are 3 vachanas also. In Tad Shabda for Pullinga we have Sahataute, Strilinga, Satetaha, Napumsakalinga, Tattetani. For Etad we have Pullinga, Esha, Ete, Eta, Etau, Ete. In Strilinga we have Esha, Ete, Etaha. Napumsakalinga, Etat, Ete, Etani. Idam Shabdaha Pullingam, Ayam, Imau, Ime. Strilingam, Iyam, Ime, Imaha. Napumsakalingam, Idam, Ime, Imani. And for Kim Shabda, Pullinga we have Kaha, Kauke. Strilinga, Kake, Kaha. Napumsakalinga, Kim, Ke, Kani. Asmat Shabda for the 3 vachanas. For all the 3 genders, it's the same. So it is Aham, Avam, Ayam. Yushmat Shabda is you, you two, you all. It is Tvam, Yuvam and Yuyam. These pronouns we learned. Then we learned the Kriya Padams. We learned many action words. And we learned 9 forms for each of those action words. In the present tense alone, we have learned only the present tense. Lat, Lakaraha. A Lakaraha is a Lakara is a, it means a tense or a mood. So only Lat Lakara we have learned. That is in 3 Purushas we have learned. For instance, in Patha Dhatu, a Dhatu is a verb root for which the Lakara, Lat Lakara forms are Pathati, Pathataha, Pathanti for Prathama Purusha, Pathasi, Pathatha, Pathatha for Madhyama Purusha, and Pathami, Pathavaha, Pathamaha for Uttama Purusha. Such verbs we learned, and we learned quite a few action words or Kriya Padani. Then we learned many avyayas, their the forms as well as the usage of the avyaya padani, how to use avyayas in sentences and what they mean is what we saw. So yeah, and of course we learned to make short sentences using all these words that we learned. Now I would like to introduce you to a few more Kriya Padams or verbs before we proceed. So I would like somebody to read. I've been talking for a very long time. If anybody wants to read, you can raise your hand. Any Anne?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Pruchati,
Yes.
Pruchanti,
Those
Pruchasi.
are the forms. So what is the meaning?
To ask.
Yes, Prichati is ask. Next is Atati. Just read it, that will do. We are just learning the words, that's all.
Atati. He wanders.
Gayati.
Gayati, he sings. Vahati, he carries.
Yes.
Smarati, he remembers.
Yes.
Jighrati, he smells.
Very good. Uttam. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavada.
So one more time. If somebody wants to read, you can raise your hand. Dharani Jayashri. Dharani Jayashri. Can you unmute yourself and read this? Sorry, we are unable to hear you. You have unmuted yourself, but the audio is not coming through. Chitra Chandrasekharan.
Yes. Ram.
Yeah.
Prichati asked. Atati wanders. Gayati sings. Vahati carries. Smarati remembers. Jighrati smells.
Yes. Very good. Uttam. Dhanyavadaha.
Ram. Dhanyavada.
So please learn these verbs as well. Add them to the list of verbs that you have already learned. And for homework, you will write out all the lat, lakara, rupani. Lat, lakara means present tense. The forms of these verbs in the present tense, the 9 forms for each of these verbs you will write. That's your homework. Now, we will see the characteristics of words in Sanskritam. So words in Sanskritam are only of 2 types. In the lesson, grammatical terms, we learned many types of words like Kriyapadam, Namapadam, Sarvanamapadam, Visheshanam, Kriya Visheshanam, and so on, Avyayam, and so on, isn't it? But all of them can be broadly categorized into just 2 groups. They are Namapadam or Subantam, Subantam. They are the nouns. And the other type is the Kriyapadam or the verb. These 2 words we already know. But we should realize that every sentence in Sanskritam, if you pick up a sentence in Sanskritam, all the words in that sentence can be grouped into these 2 categories. They are either nouns or they are verbs. Why? The rest of the types of words that we saw, all of them, like Sarvanama Shabdaha, Sarvanama Shabda like Aham, Tvam, Saha, Idam, Tat, everything, all of them come under nouns. Avyayas come under Subantams. So the Visheshanani or the adjectives are also Subantas. Kriya Visheshanani are also Subantas. Namapada, they are all other types of words are Namapadas. The only other type of word is Tingantam. The word which has a ting at the end is called a Tingantam or a Kriyapadam. It means an action word or a verb. So there are only 2 types of words in Sanskritam, Subantam and Tingantam. The other name that you can give is Namapadam or Kriyapadam, nouns and verbs. Next is, what are these words made up of? A Namapadam has two parts. One is the noun stem. So it is a noun. It has a stem, which is called the noun stem or a Pratipadikam. Pratipadikam, and then it has a Pratyayaha or a Sup Pratyayaha or a Vibhakti Pratyayaha. Every word has two parts, which is a Prakriti and Pratyaya. The basic part is called the Prakriti part, and the ending which is added to it is called the Pratyaya part. Only if you add a Pratyaya to a Prakriti, you can make it into a Padam, and only Padams can be used in sentences. It would be improper to use just the Prakriti in a sentence. You cannot use just the Pratipadikam in a sentence for a noun, and for a verb, the Prakriti part is called the Dhatu or the verb root, and the Pratyaya part is called the Ting Pratyaya or the it is the verb addition. So the ending of the verb is called a Ting Pratyaya, and only if you add it can you make use of such a word in sentences. So a complete word has a Prakriti and a Pratyaya part. Since we know that words are only of two types, which are Subantam and Tingantam, we know that the Subantam is Namapadam. For a Namapadam, the components are the Prakriti, Pratipadikam and the Vibhakti Pratyaya. Another name for Vibhakti Pratyaya is the Sup Pratyaya. Now we add the Sup Pratyaya at the end, right? So that is why the word is called Subantam or Subantam. That's why the name Subantam comes for the Namapadam. So the parts of a noun are Pratipadikam and Sup Pratyaya, and parts of a Kriyapadam are the Dhatu and the Ting Pratyaya. I hope this is clear. Ma'am, could you please repeat the Prakriti and Pratyaya? Sure. So every word in Sanskritam is either a Namapadam or a Kriyapadam. Namapadam is otherwise called Subantam. Kriyapadam is otherwise called Tingantam. Subantam indicates the ending of the word. If there is a Sup ending, it is called a Subantam. And because it has a Sup ending, it is a Namapadam or a noun. And when it has a Ting ending, it is called a Kriyapadam. So we know that every word is made up of two parts, which is Prakriti and Pratyaya, and you can use only a Padam in a sentence. A Padam necessarily should have two parts, which is a Prakriti and Pratyaya part. You cannot use just the Prakriti part in the sentence. Of course, you can't use the Pratyaya part separately also in a sentence. So for Namapadam, the Prakriti part is the Pratipadikam, or what we call the Shabda. If you remember in grammatical terms, we had seen this word Pratipadikam or Shabda, because we always keep saying, right, Rama Shabda. We have seen the three vachanas in the Rama Shabda, Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. So the basic word is Rama. Similarly, for Idam Shabda, we saw Iyam, Ime, Imaha for the Strilinga, right? So the basic Shabda is Idam, that is the Pratipadikam. Then you add the Sup Pratyaya to make it into the different forms that we use in sentences. Similarly, for Kriyapadam, we know this that Pat is a Dhatu, which is the verb root. But we don't use Pat in a sentence. We either use it as Pathati, Pathatha, Pathanti, and so on and so forth. The endings which we learned, Ti, Tahanti, such endings are they are not the actual Ting Pratyayas. They arise out of the Ting Pratyayas. How they are derived, we will learn much later. When we learn Paninian grammar, we will derive those forms. But now we should just know that there is a basic verb root like Path, to which a Pratyaya is added to give you the forms Pathati, Pathataha, Pathanti, etc. Now, How do you analyze a Namapadam? And analyze means how do you find out or introduce a Namapadam? Pada Parichayaha it is called. Parichayaha is introduction. So when you introduce a person, what do? You say, this is so and so. You tell his name. He is from this place. So these are the attributes about which you're talking. He has this qualification. He works here. So this is how you introduce a person. Similarly, how do you introduce a word, which is a noun, which is a Namapadam? You have to mention its attributes, right? So, for instance, let us take the Padam Ramaha. Okay, we have the sentence Ramaha Namati. Okay, in that sentence, we have taken the Namapadam, which is the noun, which is Ramaha. The other word Namati is a Kriya Padam. We are going to ignore that for now and just look at the noun, which is Ramaha. The Shabda or the basic Pratipadikam for this word Ramaha is Rama Shabda. It is Rama. So the Shabda or Pratipadikam is Rama. The next attribute is the Antaha. What is the ending of the Shabda? We always kept saying Akaranta Shabdas, Ikaranta Shabdas, right? For Hari, it is Ikara. For Guru, it is Ukara, and so on. So here for Rama, it is Akara. The Anta is Akara. The Linga, we know that Rama is Pullinga. So it is a Pullinga Shabda. And it is the Purusha. We know that all nouns and all pronouns except Asmad and Yushmad are Prathama Purusha Namapada. So here, these are 4 attributes of this word Rama, which does not change for any particular Shabda. So given Rama Shabda, there is only one name of the Shabda, which is Rama. There is only one ending, which is the Anta, which is Akara, because Rama is nothing but M plus A. There is Makara and Akara as the last 2 letters. So for all practical purposes, Akara is the ending letter. So it is an Akaranta Shabda. The Linga is Pullinga and the Purusha is Prathama Purusha, because 2 people are talking about somebody called Rama. Then it has an attribute called Vibhakti, which we will see in a short while from now. For now, we will ignore it. We'll just see what we already know. We know that the Rama Shabda has a form called Ramaha in Ekavachanam. The basic Shabda is Rama. It has an Akara ending. It is a Pullinga Shabda and it is a Prathama Purusha word. All these things we already know. It has a Vibhakti also, which we will study in a short while from now. It has a Vachanam. We all know that it is a Ekavachana Shabda. We also know that the same Rama Shabda has Dvivachana form, which is Ramau, and Bahuvachana form, which is Ramaha. Right? So the 4 things that don't change are the Shabda, the Anta, the Linga, and the Purusha. And the Vibhakti and Vachanam will change. We will read that in some time. So for now, the components or the attributes of any particular Shabda are 6, which are the name of the Shabda, its ending, its gender, its Purusha or the person, its Vibhakti, which we don't know yet, just leave it for now, and its Vachanam or the number. Is this clear? Now let us look at the second word in the sentence, which is Namati. Namati is a Kriya Padam. We know that it is an action word or it is the verb in the sentence. For Namati, the dhatu is nam. This is the verb root. Nam is the dhatu. Which lakara is it in? It is lat lakara. Because if you change the lakara, the form will change. It won't be Namati, it will be something else. Then the Purusha. Namati is Prathama Purusha and Vachanam is Ekavachanam. If it is Madhyama Purusha, it will be Namasi for Ekavachanam. And if you change the Vachanam, if you make it Dvivachanam, it will be Namataha. We learned this already. So for Dhatu, These are the characteristics. If you are given this word namati, you know the basic root, which is nam. You know that it is a lat lakara form. You know that it is prathama purusha. You also know that it is a ekavachana form. So these are the attributes of this word namati. I hope this is clear. So the prakriti that I was mentioning is nam, and the ti is coming out of the ting pratyaya which was added. The ting pratyaya may undergo some changes before it gets its final form ti, but that is not important for us now. Finally, we have to know that nam is the basic part and ti is arising out of the ting pratyaya, and so it is called a tinganta padam, or a verb, or a kriya padam. I hope it is clear till now. How do we understand the gender if the ending is different? For example, bhumihi. You should never have fixed ideas of if it is visarga, it is pullinga. There is no rule like that. It is not. You just have to learn a word along with its gender. In Sanskritam, you cannot get the gender of a word based on its meaning. This is something which we saw right in the beginning, that always you should learn a word with the ending, with the proper spelling, as well as its gender. You should know the gender. This is an interesting question. Why is Namapadam called a stem, whereas a dhatu called a root? Now, in a plant, we know that the root develops first, okay, and from that the stem starts developing, right? So, similarly, in Sanskritam, there is we see that 95% of all words used in Sanskritam have a basic origin in a verb. They have originated from a verb. For instance, the word Rama itself, the verb from which it has originated, they say, is Rama Dhatu, which means to be happy or be pleased. So, somebody with whom everyone is pleased is called Rama. So they make some additions with addition of a lot of pratyayas and grammatical changes, because of which Rama becomes Rama. So the fundamental unit of every word in Sanskritam, or most words in Sanskritam, is a root, is the idea that is being conveyed here. So, but that is not necessary for us at this stage. Just for an interesting insight, I mentioned this. Most words in Sanskritam, therefore, have come from verb roots. So, verb roots with certain modifications have given rise to noun forms. So, which is why the verb basic part or the prakriti part is called the verb root or the dhatu, and the noun basic part, which is the prakriti part of a subantam, is called the pratipadikam. Pratyayah, give an English equivalent. You can call it an affix, but I'm not sure if that will work for Sanskritam. I think one thing we should avoid is, trying to find out equivalents of everything in English. So there are some unique characteristics of Sanskritam. Let us learn the language as an independently. What is the meaning of Dhenu? It is a cow. What is the meaning of Ting Pratyaya? It has no meaning as such. It is the name given to a Pratyaya which is added to Dhatus. Why such a name has come, you will see when you are learning the Ting Pratyayas. What is Prakriti? Yes, Prakriti is Pratipadikam for nouns or Subantas, and Prakriti is Dhatu for the Kriya Padams or Tingantas. Okay, those were the questions. Now let us try some pada parichaya or subanta padas. Subanta padas are nama padas or nouns. Pada parichaya, or how you introduce or analyze a word. So the nama padam we saw has an anta, which for every word the anta does not change. For instance, Rama is the pratipadikam. For it, akara is always the anta, that will not change. The shabda is Rama, that is also not going to change for a given shabda. The lingam is pullingam, that is not going to change. There are 3 lingams we know. It will always be of one particular linga. And it will have one purusha, which is pullinga, strilinga or napumsaka. I mean purusha, which is prathama purusha, madhyama purusha or uttama purusha. For Rama, it is prathama purusha or anya purusha. So for one particular shabda, these 4 are constant. The only variables are vibhakti and vachanam. So based on vibhakti and vachanam, we have different forms of the same subanta, same pratipadikam. And each of those forms will be a subanta, because only by adding the sub pratyayas will you get those forms. Next is for tingantam, the unchanging components are the root, the verb root, which is the dhatu. There are roughly around 2000 verb roots in Sanskritam. So Panini gives an entire dhatu patha, which is the list of verbs which are used in Sanskritam. And he also, so there are around 2000, roughly 2000 verbs in Sanskritam, verb roots, Then we see that there are 10 lakaras or 10 tenses and moods together. So the 10 forms in which you can use the dhatus are the 10 lakaras, which are also constant. So for one particular word, the dhatu is fixed and the lakara is fixed, and you see the different purushas and vachanas for which you see the different forms. Just like how we saw this 3 into 3, the forms with 9 forms in the 3 by 3 table, right? There is one row for each purusha and one column for each vachana. So that gives rise to 9 forms. So these 2 are the variables, the purusha and the vachana. For namapadas, vibhakti and vachana are the variables. The other things remain constant. Okay. Now let us analyze some subanta padas. I have taken this word guravaha. Now let me ask one of you, if you can tell me what are the attributes of this word guravaha. If anybody wants to answer, please raise your hand. Gauri Ramamurthy.
Ram. Namaste.
Ram. Namaste.
Guravaha.
Yes.
Akaranta pullingaha. Antaha is shabda is guru.
Yes.
Antaha is akaranta. Lingam is pullingam. Purushaha is pratama purushaha. Vibhakti. Vachanam is bahuvachanam. So akaranta pullingaha guru shabdaha pradama vibhakti bahuvachanam.
Now you said guru shabda, right? What is the ending?
Ukaranda. Oh, I am sorry. Ukaranda pullingaha pradama vibhakti bahuvachanam. Guru shabdaha.
Uttama.
The order is how to tell continuously.
The order is not important. No problem. Okay. The order is not important now. So the Guru Shabda has a Hrasva Ukara end. So it is Ukarantaha, Pullingaha, Guru Shabda, and it is Prathama Purusha. Normally in Pada Parichaya, we don't mention the Prathama Purusha because we know that everything is Prathama Purusha except Asmad and Yushmat. And we don't know the Vibhakti, and it is Bahuvachanam. So these are the attributes of the Guru Shabda. Excellent. Dhanyavadaha, Bhagini. So these four are constant for a given Shabda or Pratipadikam. We will see the different forms in for different Vibhaktis and different Vachanas. So here the Vachana is Bahuvachanam. Guruhu, Guru, Guravaha. So the Bahuvachana form is Guravaha, meaning many Gurus. So similarly, for the next Shabda, if anybody wants to try, you can raise your hand. Chandrasekharan Puppuswamy Mahodaya, would you like to try?
Yeah. Ram Mata.
Ram. Namaste Mahodaya. Please try. Male is the Shabda.
Mala Sabdaha.
Correct.
Akaranta Srilingaha.
Uttamam.
Dvivachanam. Male, Malaha.
Samyak. So that's all. So we don't know the Vibhakti yet. We have
Vibhakti, yes.
This is the Mala Shabda, Akaranta ending. So it is Akara ending or Akarantaha. Strilingaha, Mala Shabda, and Vibhakti is not known. It is Dvivachanam or dual in number.
Dhanyavadaha Mata. Ram.
Ram. Annapurna Nodi. Ram. Can you try this one? Annapurna Nodi. Okay, we are not able to hear you. Hema Anna. Hema Anna, can you try this?
Mother. Yes.
Rama.
Ram.
Yes.
Yes. Tau is Prathama Purusha, Pumlinga Shabdam, Saha Shabdaha. Is that?
The basic Shabda that we learned is the Tad Shabda.
Tad Shabda, yes.
In Pullinga Dvivachana, the Tau form.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
It is Dakarantaha.
Dakarantaha, Pumlinga Shabdaha, Pumlingaha, Tad Shabdaha.
Yes.
Dvivachana Rupam.
Uttam. Dvivachana Rupam. So this is Dakarantaha because it is Tad. The final letter is Dakara. So Tad Shabda. It is a Pullinga Shabda because in Saha Taute only you get this form Tau. So we call it Pullinga. And it is Dvivachana. Uttam.
Yes. Dhanyavadaha Mata.
Hridya Vipin, you want to try the next one? Rama Rama. Yeah. Imani. Can you try telling the attributes of this shabda, which is the Subanta Pada, Imani. You remember this form? Okay. There is some problem with the audio. Janavi, Satish, you want to try this?
Ram.
Ram. Yeah.
Ma'am, it
Imani.
is idam shabdah.
Uttam. So it is
Napumsakalingam, Makarantah, and
yes.
Bahuvachanam.
Uttamam.
Vibhakti, we don't know.
Very good. So Makarantaha, Napumsakalingaha, idam shabdaha in Bahuvachanam is Imani. Uttama. Dhanyavadaha, Bhagini.
Dhanyawada.
Kannan Krishnamurti Mahodaya. Kannan Krishnamurti. Ram Rama.
Ram.
Rama. This shabda is Asanam.
Asanam. Nagumsakalingam Asanam. Akarantah Nagumsakalingah Pradama Purushah Ekavachanam Pradama Vibhakti.
Okay. So this is Akarantaha. How do we get Akarantaha when it is M ending? Asanam is the padam, but the actual shabda is Asana Shabdaha. So Akarantaha Napumsakalingaha Asana Shabdaha. In Asana, the ending is a. Nakara and Akara, of which Akara is the last letter. So it is Akaranta Shabdaha. Asana Shabdaha has in Ekavachanam the form as Asanam. In Dvivachanam, Asane. In Bahuvachanam, what is it?
Asanani.
Uttam. Asanani. So this Asanam is not the characteristic of the entire Shabda. It is the Ekavachana form. That's all. So Akaranta Napumsakalinga Asana Shabdaha. Vibhakti we don't know. This is Ekavachanam. Uttama Mahodaya. Dhanyawad. Ram. Next is Avam. Krishnan Varadarajan Mahodaya, do you want to try?
Ram.
Ram. Yeah. Avam. What is the shabda? You remember the name of the shabda that we learned?
Aham Shabda.
Asmad Shabda. We said Asmad and Shrishmad Shabdas. Asmad is the Uttama Purusha Shabda. So that is why I have given Uttama Purusha. Next. So
Asmad Shabda. It is Dvivachanam.
Yes. That's all. So in this, the only thing that you have to note is, I have given here Trishu Lingeshu Samanaha, which means in 3 lingas. Trishu means in all the 3. Lingeshu, in all the 3 lingas, it has a same form. It does not change with the linga. Whether it is Pullinga, Strilinga or Napumsakalinga, it will only be Avam. Okay, so it is Dakarantah because of this Asmad. The last letter is the Asmad Shabdah. Dakarantah Trishu Lingeshu Samanah Asmad Shabdah, and it is Dvivachanam. Aham, Avam, and Vayam. So Avam is Dvivachanam. Uttam. Dhanyavad.
धन्यवाद नमस्ते
Ram Ram. There is one more. Yes. Yuyam. Lakshmi Mridula Ganduri. Lakshmi Mridula Ganduri. Okay. Lakshmi Yarlagada.
It's Yushmad Shabdaha.
Uttam. Yushmat Shabda. So it is Madhyama Purusha. It is not Prathama, it is Madhyama Purusha. Okay.
Purushaha. Dakarantaha. Yushmad Shabdaha.
Yes.
Trishu Lingeshu Samanaha.
Yes.
And Vibhakti is a question mark and it's a Bahuvachanam.
Yes. So what are the Ekavachana and Dvivachana forms?
Tvam, Yuvam, Yuyam.
Uttam. So Ekavachanam is Tvam, Dvivachanam is Yuvam. Uttam. Dhanyavad. Okay. So this is the I think we've exceeded the time quite a bit. So we will stop here and we will continue the same thing in the next class before we go on to doing the Vibhaktis. So the only homework is to write those Kriya Padams in all the Lat Lakara forms. Okay, let me see. There are questions. Why Namapadam has 10 and not 2? Why is Prathama Purusha? Everything is not Prathama Purusha. Everything except Asmad and Yushmad are Prathama Purusha. Because the only Uttama Purusha word or noun is Asmad, and the only Madhyama Purusha noun is Yushmad. Everything else is only Prathama Purusha. So the most common is Prathama Purusha. Purusha concept should be only for dhatus. Why it has been extended to Namapadas? No, that is not correct, because I is first person. We have the first person, second person, and third person in nouns as well. We always combine the appropriate nouns with the appropriate verbs based on the Purusha. So both of them should have a Purusha. Just that in the tables that we see, we use the Purusha only for the dhatus or the Kriya Padas, because for Asmat and Yushmat, they are the only two Uttama Madhyama Purusha nouns that are going to be used. So there is no point in adding the Purusha in the tables for the nouns. That is why we don't see them. But otherwise, they do have Purusha. How Tau is Dakaranta? Because it is Tad Shabda in Pullinga form, it gets this Tau. In the Dvivachana, it gets a form which is Tau. That is why the basic Shabda is important. The Shabda's ending is the ending of that word. Dakaranta Pullinga is what we have to say. Why is Imani Makaranta? Because the basic Shabda is Idam Shabda. So you should always know the basic Shabda to be able to tell the ending. So the ending depends on the root of the Pratipadikam and not the Shabda or the Padam itself. The Padam has Prakriti part and Pratyaya part, as we saw. Should we memorize all Shabdas to know the Anta? It's not memorizing. So we always proceed from the Shabda to the different forms. So that is what you will automatically learn in the first place. Avam is Dakaranta because of Asmad Shabda, and Asmad is Dakara ending. So the basic Shabda is Asmad. Most common is not Uttama Purusha, most common is Prathama Purusha, because all nouns and all pronouns are in Prathama Purusha except Asmad and Yushmad. Avam, Yuyam, how they are Dakar. Everybody has the same question because Asmad and Yushmad are the basic Shabdas and they only have Dakara ending. Their different forms are Aham, Avam, Vayam and Tvam, Yuvam, Yuyam, but the sub-Shabda is Dakara, the Asmad, Yushmad, etc. Okay, so those were the questions. Let us quickly recite the Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadah. Shubha Ratrihi. Punar Milamah.